don't even know where to start, but I will start right here. We need this. Like Niner fans, this community, this city, this team, we fell short 3 times. 2 times in the NFC Championship game.
2 times in a row.
We needed this.
We're a half away from losing.
Spiritually, I felt broken at halftime. I was thinking, is this going to be another opportunity where a core of guys, as I'm watching Bryant Young go up there, as I'm watching Frank Gore go up there and hit the foghorn at halftime after Journey played, and no one cared. Okay, nobody cared that Journey was playing because we were down 17 at the half. Right. I was thinking, we're going to have an entire offseason of quarterback just meh, from Kirk Cousins to drafting someone to God knows what, to Brady coming out of retirement, to the offseason of, you got to fire Shanahan, Wilkes, bring in Belichick, bring in Bill Walsh's ghost. Like, it was going to be one of the longest, most difficult off seasons maybe of my lifetime. And I was going to watch another core get as close as they could and not get over the hump. Now, look, we got a big game that we get to celebrate, and it's amazing. It's one of the most improbable games where my team pulled it out that I can ever remember. They were getting dominated in the first half. But I'll tell you, they were out-schemed, out-hit, out-coached, out-matched, out-physicaled. They were getting outran. I watched Jamison Williams jog off the field faster than our guys were sprinting. I was watching their offensive line get anything that they wanted on the edges.
Anything.
Edges.
What about up the middle?
I mean,
Jahmyr run up the A-gaps.
Jahmyr Gibbs looked, and I don't say this lightly, I watched LaDainian Tomlinson score 5 touchdowns against the Niners at Candlestick, and I thought that was one of the greatest, most dynamic, explosive, juke-riddled performances from a running back I had ever seen. Todd Gurley was amazing in his prime. I watched Jahmyr Gibbs, I go, he's as explosive and as dynamic as LaDainian Tomlinson, and I don't say that lightly. And then he fumbled. Well, I couldn't believe the sequence of events and how quickly they turned it around. That third quarter is going to go down in the history of 49er football as one of the greatest third quarter playoff performances ever.
When I think about that game yesterday, and I'm starting to think about it now, to me, I look at the Golden State Warriors, and it really had a lot of Game 6 vibes at OKC.
That's a great call.
Because you're on the brink. And the Warriors had no business winning that basketball game. Klay Thompson's go nuclear. Steph Curry throws up to 7. You're going back to Game 7 at Oracle Arena. You're at your deathbed. You're basically at your own funeral. And that's what I felt like in the first half with the 49ers. I'm thinking to myself, damn, this is how we're going to go out? Is this how we're going to go out? I started sitting down, and I was exasperated because the Lions were going down the field at the end of the first half, looking to go up 28-7. And Jared Goff, as good as he was yesterday, he missed that throw to Gibbs, right? In the back of the end zone. Warner gets beat in the zone. He looks at Gibbs. Gibbs is so fast. He's right in the middle of the field. There's no safeties there. Goff misses him. Then he hits Gibbs on the screen. He catches the ball on the ground at the 10-yard line. Gets up and still gets to the 2-yard line.
And almost scored.
And I'm thinking to myself, is Dan Campbell going to go for it? He makes the right decision. They go up 24-7, but Levi Stadium was dead. It was all Lion fans in there. Dead. They were singing their touchdown song. They were chanting Jared Goff. They were chanting defense. And I'm all around this Honolulu blue. And I'm thinking to myself, is this how we're going to go out? Is this how Shanahan and company's going to go out tonight? And you're right. The whole offseason stuff, I was in a bad place. And that's where, we joked last week. I said, man, I haven't prayed in years. And you go to church and whatnot. I went to go pray. Oh, I swear to God.
You prayed.
And I had no idea. And in the third quarter goes, I look at this picture. And it was me praying. I sat there in my seat for a good 90 seconds with my eyes closed, talking to the Lord upstairs saying, if there's anything you can do for me. And I'm not saying that's why they won the game because that's ridiculous. But I sat there and closed my eyes because Shasky, I said there's no way they could go out there like that and let Detroit come into Levi Stadium and blow us out like that. And the Niners came out in the third quarter, kicked the field goal, and it was a little disappointing. But I love the up-tempo. I love the up-tempo in that first drive.
That crowd.
I love the up-tempo in that first drive in the third quarter. And then, to me, the biggest play of the game, 4th and 2. Lions up 2 touchdowns. Now, they could have kicked the field goal and gone up 17 points.
Which is what I thought they should have done.
But this is how they play. This is what Dan Campbell does. This is what Ben Johnson does. And you know what, Shasky? To have that 4th and 2, they were going for the kill. And I understand that. But at that point, They had 168 rushing yards to the 49ers 45.
They're getting anything they want.
Anything they want. I'm thinking, boy, if they just run the ball, they're averaging 7 yards a carry up until that point. 7 yards a carry gets our front four, the most expensive defensive line in all of football. And they passed it. Now, it was a great call because it hit Reynolds right in the hands. He drops it. And all of a sudden, Levi's woke up.
100%.
And then the fluke to Ayuk is what Mark Grandy said yesterday to Grandy, man. The fluke to Ayuk on one of the most memorable postseason plays, a la Lynn Swan.
It was incredible.
And that place erupted, and the Niners never looked back.
All right, so there's so many things I got to unpack here. All right, let's start here. Thank you for becoming a child of God. I'm wearing my rosary beads today in honor of you, B, praying yesterday, because this is what I do, all right? Now, we were supposed to go to church in the morning,
right?
And I was supposed to put my little money in the donation pot for St. Cecilia's, and Michelle made me clean the house in the morning, and I ended up not doing it. But I am so glad you found Christ right before that second half started, because hey, with Jesus, everything is possible. The catch Brandon Ayuk made, that should have been an interception.
Helps Angels
we can all admit it, right? Like, we can all admit they got incredibly lucky. But the dexterity and the hand-eye coordination to come down with that pass. B, I watched him throw it, and you have the same angle as me. And I go, oh, my God, he's throwing it too far.
Yeah,
he's throwing it too far.
He's not even close.
He's not even close. And there was a couple of balls, one-on-one in the first half, where he had Ayuk, and he completely overthrew Ayuk. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, it's going to be intercepted. Bonte, the fact that he caught that ball and then the touchdown pass was incredible.
Right, because that was on the third down.
That was a tight window.
Right, it was a tight window. And you're going to face a fourth down in which Shanahan. Do you go for it? Do you not go for it?
B, I'm telling you, I've been to a lot of sporting events. Yeah. I've been to the Game 3, Game 4 for Steph Curry, against Boston. I've been to so many playoff games for the San Francisco Giants that have all been epic. They all stand on their own. That was as good of a stadium feel as a fan I can ever remember that I've ever had going to a game.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's better than this. I've missed one 49er home playoff game in my life, in my adult life, okay, since about 98. I've missed one, and it was last week against Green Bay. That environment was as good and as ruckus and as loud and as awesome. My ears are still ringing as any sporting event I've ever been to. The Detroit fans deserve a ton of credit, but Niner fans were off the hook.
Hey, that third quarter run
was incredible.
It was kind of like a Warriors run, right? The whole Dub Nation, the whole Dub.
We're exhausted.
I mean, we're so. I mean, 888-957-9570.
Pedialyte, for Christ's sake.
888-957-9570. No, yeah, we're jacked up here. Listen, quietly,
100%.
Quietly, the Niners are undefeated at Levi Stadium in playoff games. They're now 6-0 at Levi Stadium in playoff games. Go figure.
Quietly.
And I know a lot of people said, but see, I was a little disappointed. I sent out a tweet, and I shouldn't call out fans because I understand everybody's under different financial circumstances. But I was legit disappointed that there were so many Lion fans in the building. And my thing was, listen, man, we pay for season tickets and we pay for these games, but you don't get opportunities to host NFC title games every single year. And I get that, you may have to sell these tickets and it may be a double up for you. It may pay for your season tickets. I get all that. Me personally, I'm just thinking to myself, I got to be there for title games. I got to be there for playoff games. They don't happen every single season. So that was disappointing. But boy, did the Niner fans show up in that third quarter and help lift them. And you know what? For as much ridicule as you gave Steve Wilkes at halftime and that defense, because they were just getting mollywopped. I mean, Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, Jared Goff were just in their back. They were doing whatever they wanted to do.
Laporta is ridiculous.
Jameson Williams. I mean, the first drive, they come out there. Dude, they come out there first drive, and a minute 42 later, it's 7-0. And I'm saying, wait, who's a veteran-savvy team? Who's a team that's been here before?
They out-physicaled us, out-hit us, out-schemed us. They were out-speeding us. They dominated the first half.
Penei Sewell has a chance to be one of the best right tackles in pro football history. The nastiness he plays with.
Incredible.
The first play of the game, they do a little pitch play.
I know.
To David Montgomery, and he decleats Tarvarius Ward. And later on in the game, he decleats Jerry Brown and points at him.
I thought that Jared Goff was in his bag, too. He had a clean pocket. He was hitting anything he wanted. He had layered throws. I mean, until the end. I got to give credit, though, because, we crushed this guy a lot. I thought Nick Bosa brought it in that second half.
I brought that up.
I thought he brought it, man.
Yeah, he turned it around.
You know,
he turned it around.
Like, as much as I crushed this guy for the last month, you know, I got to give him credit. He was playing like a man possessed at the end.
No, he outplayed Aiden Hutchinson.
Thank you.
When we needed him. Nick Bosa played his ass off, but you know what?
Drake Greenlaw gave his body.
Drake Greenlaw.
You know, they were showing Willis and Bowman at halftime.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I
you
love
know,
that.
and look, Willis and Bowman are just two. When I think of guys who gave their body to the sport and to the fans, those are two guys that immediately popped in my head. Keena Turner, Ronnie Lott. Like, there are certain guys. Bill Romanowski.
Yep.
Pierce Holt. Like, there are certain guys that I think
Gary
of.
Plummer. Gary Plummer.
I'm giving you every ounce I have.
Right.
Dre Greenlaw hit Laporta so hard he knocked himself out of the game.
I know. It was. I watching that back last because I start watching the game.
57 is one of my favorites of all time.
Greg Olsen, by the way, Greg Olsen got to meet him before the game.
Yeah.
He just said,
I saw
Greg,
you on the sideline, by the way.
I said, Greg, what's up, man? Bonte Hill, you came out with Shasky and I morning. He goes, yes, that's right. You guys, he goes, anytime you want me, you got me. Thanks so much. Him on the broadcast yesterday.
Anytime you say.
He was on fire. He was on fire, calling it like it is. And that Drake Greenlaw hit, I said, oh, my gosh.
Bro, Drake Greenlaw got up, and he looked like the soul had been knocked out of him. But the timing on some of these hits, and look, Fred Warner, everyone's losing their mind. Missed tackles. Dog, these guys are battle-tested champions. They could have folded in that first half. To come back the way that they did, and now we haven't even got to it. The game flipped in the second half. We could talk about arm and angles and this and that. Brock Purdy's legs, the 3 scrambles on third down for 52 yards, changed the game. Changed the game for the offense and was that extra little, can you make a play when no play is there to be had? And Brock did it. And then he doesn't just slide. He's diving forward for a first down on the 1. And we're all saying the same thing. Get down. And he did like a John Elway style. I'm leaning my shoulder in. Brock may not have the most physical gifts in the world, but God damn it, that guy's got balls of steel. He's as courageous as they come, and I'll go to war with that guy 13 any freaking day.
Purdy magic is what we're calling it. Purdy magic. Because in the first half, it was not good. He was not magical.
He looked terrible.
7 of 15, 93 yards, a 39.0 passer rating. Jared Goff outplayed him. He was erratic. And then even in the third quarter, he threw across his body. He threw it to Jawad Jennings one head. And Greg Olsen said he broke a million rules on that play. Throwing across his body, back Jennings over killed. The middle of the field. And then 3 plays later, almost got Jennings killed throwing high on the crossing route. Yes. And I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, Brock Purdy, you're gonna have us all guzzling Pepto-Bismol. Legit. I'm getting physically ill here. But that young man, is so incredible. He finishes throwing 267 yards passing, a touchdown. The no huddle, I thought to start the third quarter was changed everything. And he got Debo involved. The corner route to George Kittle, nice little rainbow throw. Brock Purdy in back-to-back playoff games. We've seen it now against Dallas. We've seen it against Green Bay. And we've seen it last night against the Detroit Lions. In the second half, this guy, he's got a clutch gene. I'm sorry. I don't care what he is. I don't care what Ryan Clark says today. I don't care what Nick Wright says today. I don't care what anybody has to say about my guy. Brock Purdy, I don't know what he's going to be in the future. I really don't care. But right now for this team, he is perfect for this football team. He's got Shanahan's trust. And you know what? When we needed him to make a play, he made play after play after play when we had to have it. And the Niners going to 27-0 run in that second half. It's just incredible.
I've never seen anything like it. I've been going to games my whole life. Bonte, I've never, even the New York Giant game, it was like, we were like, fighting back to come back. The Atlanta game, when they went down to Atlanta and fought back. But the way that game flipped in 5 minutes, it did have a Warrior feel to it. We're like, oh, here comes the tornado.
Right. It just started snowballing. It kept snowballing. It was
unbelievable. Now, you say that they've been aggressive all year, Dan Campbell and the Lions. And I want to shout out my boy Della. Drunk John Delacella gets in the car. He goes, and this is his line. I'm stealing it. He goes, Dan Campbell managed that game like he was at Chico State playing Madden off of 6 high noons, going for it at every single turn like he was me back in the day. What do you know the situation? Bonte, there's a time where you got to dress street, and there's a time where you got to dress up. You know what I mean? And you got to know the setting. You're up 2 touchdowns. The Niners kicked that field goal. They got a little tiny bit of momentum. It's a 2-score game. You take the 3 points. You turn it into a 3-score game.
You know what?
I just that's
Hey, you know what,
just
though?
me.
You know what, though? You're on the road. This is how you play. This is how you're aggressive. This is how you got here. You're going for the knockout blow. The 49ers were reeling. Reeling. They had no answers for them. You're averaging 7 yards a carry at that point.
Devontae,
that's a long field goal, too. 47 yards.
There's no doubt.
47 yards. And that kicker was erratic all year for the line. So, you know what?
I disagree.
I have no problem with him going for it right there in that situation. Now, do I have a problem with the play call? I thought he was running right up the middle with David Montgomery, get the 2 yards. They were averaging 7 yards a carry at that point. And then, if you think about the play, it was executed correctly until Reynolds dropped it. It hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. So I got no problem with that. He catches the ball. They get a 1st and 10. Levi Stadium is dead. They go in for a score. Game over. Now, the second 4th down, when they're down 27-24, I thought it was more egregious. I had no problem with the first one.
Okay.
You're still up 2 scores.
See, I disagree with you on that. That's fine.
We disagree. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I thought, go for it right there. I had no problem with it. Hit Reynolds in the heads. Your receivers got to make a play. It's 4th down, money time. You hit him right in the head. Jared Goff made a great throw. Hit him right in the head. He dropped it. Now, the second one, you got to tie the football game up. You have to tie the game up. And Goff got a little skittish on that play. He got a little skittish. So, look, we can count our lucky stars. We count our blessings. We make it through Green Bay. We make it through Detroit. It's all about surviving and advancing. And now you get a shot at Patrick Mahomes. We talked about all season long. To be the man, you got to beat the man. In the NFC, it was the Philadelphia Eagles who were the man. Well, they destroyed them on December 3rd to take over the NFC. Now we got to beat the other man. And he may be the greatest man to ever put on a helmet and a pair of shoulder pads, and it's Patrick Mahomes. But we'll get there.